The first step to privatizing Social Security has already happened, and we didn't even know it. That is according to Trump's Treasury Secretary, who went on record to say that a recently passed part of the big beautiful bill is actually a backdoor way to begin the privatization of Social Security. Now, I know this will be shocking news to you, but this is coming from the Treasury Secretary, so it's important for us to look at it and understand why he is saying this. I am going to explain that to you. And then there is a $600 stimulus bill that has been proposed in the US Senate that is based on President Trump's statement last week that he's very much in support of having a stimulus bill go out, a stimulus check for $600 go out as the rebate from the taxes that have been collected from tariffs. And then I'm going to talk about the $370 that is owed to seniors based on cost of living adjustments that have not caught up with inflation. Now, this particular live is sponsored by our partner, Chapter Medicare. I am going to talk to you about Chapter. They are the partner that is helping over 2,000 of seniors so far who have been watching our channel get into a better Medicare program. So I am going to explain what Chapter does and how they can help you not only get into a better Medicare plan, but also save $1,100 a year. So that is the number that you see on your screen. So my name is Kwame Kwade. I am a government benefits expert. I have been helping seniors get the retirement benefits they deserve for over 15 years. We've been creating content on Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, and other personal finance issues that affect seniors. So let's get started with the breaking news. And I'm going to pull a particular statement that the Treasury Secretary said that was very disturbing, and it has caused a lot of media frenzy. But it's important to explain what he's trying to say and understand why he thinks that the privatization of Social Security has already begun and we did not even know it. So this is the news from the USA Today, and it says that Trump's accounts are a backdoor for privatizing Social Security. That is from the Treasury Secretary. In a way, it is a back way for privatizing Social Security. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said of the new $1,000 account for newborns that was passed as part of President Trump's big, beautiful bill. So if you read this article further, here's what it says. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent touted new savings accounts for American babies included in President Trump's recently approved mega bill as a backdoor for privatizing Social Security. Bessent said on July the 30th, which is today, hailed the so-called Trump accounts for American newborns that passed in Trump's big beautiful bill as an innovative way to get more Americans to take part in the financial system, increase financial literacy, and build their retirement savings. Under the program, American children born this year through 2028 are eligible for a one-time $1,000 contribution from the federal government per toddler into a mutual fund or index fund that is tied to the performance of the stock market. So let me give you some background to this. So essentially, what the Treasury Secretary is saying is that as part of the big beautiful bill, there is these savings accounts that are called the Trump accounts, where a newborn is automatically given $1,000 savings account from the U.S. government. So the moment you're a U.S. citizen born, they open this account for you, and then they put it, into an index fund or a mutual fund tied to the stock market growth. And the idea is to kind of help secure the financial future of children by starting them with this savings account at a very young age where the US government is going to put money in there. Now, there's been a lot of debate about why the government wanted to do this, why all of a sudden the US government wants to create savings accounts and give $1,000 to newborns. And there's been a lot of speculations about the intention behind this and what could happen because of these accounts. Because you think about it, if 50 years from now you give there's been studies that have looked at this. You give a child $1,000 now. How much is that going to grow for 50 years? And at that point, do you even need Social Security anymore? So that is what some people think this was about. But it's interesting that the Treasury Secretary is maybe saying the quiet part out loud by saying that this is a way to begin the privatization of Social Security, where they will just put the money in an account and let you manage it. So let's read some more from that article. In a way, it's a backdoor way for privatizing Social Security, Bessett said, speaking at a policy event hosted by conservative news outlet Breitbart News. Social Security is a defined benefit plan paid out. That, to the extent that if all of a sudden these accounts grow and you have it in hundreds of thousands of dollars for your retirement, that is a game changer. Trump's mega bill, which the president signed into law on July 4th after he cleared both houses of Congress, extends Trump's 2027 tax cuts and taxes on tips, allocates billions of dollars to border wall funding, and cuts Medicaid food stamps, among others. So essentially, this particular part, which was built in there as a great thing, as an innovative thing, it's now being looked at as something that could be a way to say, maybe we don't have to pay Social Security. Maybe we don't have to pay the entire Social Security bill because people now have accounts that with their name on it that has been growing for years. So why do you need Social Security? So that is kind of the shock of this statement, because it was actually maybe saying the quiet part out loud that we may not have realized was what was happening. So I want to talk about it. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is probably what you guys have heard already, the stimulus bill that I explained yesterday. I have some more information that I want to share with you on why there is a Trump check that is coming, and it applies to seniors, it applies to people on disability, it applies to children. Everybody is included in this. As long as you're a US citizen, you are eligible for a $600 check if this bill passes. But here's the thing, this is not a tax credit. So I've been talking to you about the fact that a lot of seniors feel left behind in the big, beautiful bill because over 50% of seniors do not file taxes on their Social Security. And so they were not included in the big, beautiful bill and felt left behind. And so I've talked a lot about other legislation that could be passed that could help seniors that are not included in the big, beautiful bill. And so this is one of them, and I'm going to explain in detail what it means. But before I do that, I need you to do me a favor. If you are new to this channel, thank you. I am glad you're here. Do me a favor, go into the comment section. Let me know your city and your state, because we like to know who is watching our content and where you're watching from. And if you've been watching this channel for a while, thank you for continuing supporting us, and I appreciate you being here today. So let's talk about Senator Josh Hawley's bill to send $600 check. But let me preface this by saying this all started because Trump responded to a reporter question and said he was in support of sending a $600 check to Americans based on the tariff revenues that have come in. So let's see how this all transpired. The first thing is that I'm going to show you what the White House posted recently on their page regarding the tax revenue. So the White House is saying that they are projected to get $150 billion in tariff revenues from the president pushing for tariffs on a lot of goods and services that were coming into the United States. If you want to compare this to last year, the government collected about $30 to $50 billion in tariffs. And so now that they're going to get about 3 times the amount of tariffs that were collected last year, this is why the president was saying he's interested in taking part of this money, part of this money that is in tariffs and using it to send you a check in the mail. Everybody, including seniors on Social Security and Medicaid, Social Security on disability, are all going to be included in this. So where is this going? Well, there's been a lot of movement already from the time the president said he was interested in doing this. Senator Josh Hawley now has put a bill before Congress to do exactly that. So I am going to share with you what this bill looks like, and then I'm going to explain to you what is in the bill. So here is the bill that has been was filed recently, a few days ago, in the 119th Congress, which is what we are in right now. And I'll read you the top part of it. It says to amend the Internal Revenue Service Code of 1986 to provide rebates to individuals using tariff proceeds. In the United States, in the Senate of the United States, Mr. Hawley introduced the following bill, which was read twice and referred to the committee, to amend the IRS code to provide individuals using individual rebates using tariff proceeds. And then it goes on in some Senate languages, and essentially it's talking about how this is going to happen. But I'm going to read you a few sections so that you understand. In the case of an eligible individual, there shall be allowed a credit against the tax imposed by subtitle A for the taxable year beginning 2025, an amount equal to, and then it goes down to say the amount is $600 per person right here, if you can see it, or higher if the government collects more tax revenue. So let me bring this to you in plain language. How does this affect you? Well, I read the entire bill, the bill that the senator just proposed. I read everything in it, and this is what it actually says, and this is how it actually impacts you. So it is saying that this bill would give cash rebates to Americans using money collected from the tariffs on foreign imports, and seniors are specifically included and protected in this legislation. So how much could you get? Well, at least $600, but potentially more depending on tariff revenue. If you're a married couple, depending on how much is being sent, you're going to get at least $1,200. And if you're a grandparent that is taking care of a qualifying grandchild, you also get additional money. Now, how much the amount is being calculated is that you will get $600 guaranteed, but if the government collects more money, it could be higher. And as usual with everything that the federal government does with stimulus, there is a phase out. So if you make more than $75,000 as an individual, you do not get all of it. If you make $150,000 as a couple, it begins to phase out for you. So here are some important things you need to remember about this particular bill. You do not need to file taxes to get the money. This is one thing I want to clarify, because a lot of seniors have been made to believe that if you do not file taxes and you're on Social Security or disability benefits, then you are excluded. That is not true. That is incorrect information. Everybody is included in this, whether you are filing taxes or not, and children are also part of this. So if you're a family of 4, you're going to get $2,400. The money is protected. It cannot be seized for debt or back taxes, so they cannot garnish it. And it's quick because the government is going to send the payment as rapidly as possible, and you might get the money before you even file your 2025 taxes. So this is moving rapidly, and it's one of the things that probably in the entire year we've talked about what help is available to seniors, how much help is going to come to seniors who were not included in the big, beautiful bill. In my opinion, this is the bill that could change that. Now, Senator Hawley also released his own statement on his website talking about why he's introducing legislation. So let's read it. So Hawley introduces legislation to send rebate checks to working Americans. It was released on July the 28th. It says today, U.S. Senator Josh Hawley, Republican of Missouri, introduced the American Worker Rebate Act, legislation that would send rebate checks to working Americans following the historic revenue accrued through President Trump's tariff policy. Americans deserve a tax rebate after 4 years of Biden policies that have devastated families, savings, and livelihood. like President Trump proposed, my legislation will allow hardworking Americans to benefit from the wealth that, that tariffs are returning to this country, Senator Hawley said. So essentially, he's saying that because so much money is coming from tariffs, he thinks that some of it should be used to send rebate checks directly to Americans. And I want to emphasize this was not Senator Hawley's idea. This was President Trump's idea, and he took it and drafted legislation to push it to make sure that it happens. And so, if there was any chance that seniors are going to get relief this year, this is the first step towards that. Now, he goes on to say that Senator Hawley announced the legislation last week after President Trump voiced support for this policy when he discussed record-breaking tariff revenue. The United States now has a record monthly tariff revenue, which nearly reached $30 billion in June. Several projections suggest the United States could see $150 billion in tariff revenue in 2025 alone. The American Worker Rebate Act will provide a tariff check this year to American workers and families with similar parameters to direct payments passed by Congress in 2020. So here's the key thing you have to remember, because it says that this stimulus will be mirrored to the direct payments that was passed in 2020 during COVID. And if you remember, that was, number one, applicable to everybody. So seniors were included, people on disability benefits were included, whether you're on SSI or SSDI, and children were included. So this is a similar thing, and this is directly from Senator Hawley's website, and right here. Provide a tariff rebate check this year. Oh, sorry, I didn't thought I wasn't sharing my screen. Let me do that. So it says provide a tariff rebate check this year to American workers and families with similar parameters to the direct payments passed by Congress in 2020, and ensure the amount of the rebate is at least $600 per adult and dependent child. So it says, for example, a family of 4 is going to get $2,400. So that is it. It's coming from direct source from the senator's website. I have also shared the bill itself with you, and I've also explained to you what the bill includes. So this is happening fast, and I will stay on top of it and bring you updates as this moves through the Senate, and also through the House. But as I mentioned, this is the best chance I've seen all year to pass a stimulus that has real teeth, then that has a real chance of passing, because the president is directly supporting it. So I'll keep you posted on that. And then finally, I want to talk to you about something that I've been talking about recently. And hold on a second. Let me find my stuff. And so we've been hearing a lot about Social Security and the fact that Social Security is broke, and it isn't broke, but there are issues with it that need to be addressed. And one of the first one is the issue of, the 2030 Social Security is going to run out of money. And what's going to happen there? I'm going to discuss with you something that I think is going to help fix the problem, but also put more money in the pockets of seniors. But before I do that, I wanted to bring to your attention that we launched something exciting late last week, and we've been getting a lot of people asking questions about it. We launched a membership community for seniors who have been following us on this channel, 55 plus, and it's supposed to provide you a place that you could go and get more content that are personalized to you, be able to get your questions answered. If you feel like you've been missing out on benefits because you don't understand the details of these benefits that are available to you, if you feel like there's so much out there that you do not know that as a senior you could get access to, but you simply don't have the information, this community is where you should be. It is called our school community, and is called the Benefits Insider Circle community. What are some of the topics we'll be talking about? How to maximize your income as a senior in retirement, retirement living, money saving ideas, part time job ideas and opportunities, the best and most up to date senior discounts and perks, navigating senior living is another thing we're going to be talking about. And let me expand this so that I can share the rest. Health and wellness and aging resources, caregiver support, and provide a community where you can feel seen, heard, and get your questions answered directly by me, my team, and experts that we're going to be bringing in that are going to be providing specialized content around these topics. So why are we doing this? Well, a lot of you asked for it. We've been creating content for free here, and we're going to continue to do that every day. But you wanted something more, a place that you could go where we could put all our resources. And one of the benefits you're going to get by joining this community is that every paid guide that we release is going to be free to you. And today we released another one, which is our senior banking guide. It's a 50-page document that has all the money saving tips about banking as a senior. So think about the best places you can get checking accounts for free. What are the highest CD rates? What are the highest savings accounts? How do you set up your banking system so that people, your family members are protected in the future? All these resources are there. We've put them all in one place and some of them by location. So those are some of the things that we're going to be releasing. And if you're part of this community, you're going to get all that for free. And so our mission is to make sure that you stop missing out on benefits and help you unlock every dollar, every discount, and every advantage that you deserve. So if you're interested, the first 50 members are going to get it at a reduced lifetime monthly rate, and that rate will never change. So go to this website, www.school.com/benefits insider. And I'm going to put the link in the comments right now. And also, I am going to make sure that I put a link in the description to this video. So if you're watching this video after the live, you would know exactly where to go. And so far, we're trying to get the first 50 people at the reduced rate. We already have 31. And so we have 19 more spaces left at this special discount. That's not going to change. If you join this group at this discount rate, that is the permanent rate you're going to get. And so I am hoping to see a lot of you there. There are 19 more spots left at this special price. So check it out in the comment section below. We're looking for a lot more of you to join us. Now, I'm going to go into the comments and see what some of you are saying there and see if I can answer some questions for you. So let's see. I thought Trump said he wasn't going to touch Social Security. So this is Jed. I thought Trump said he wasn't going to touch Social Security. He's a lie. Well, I mean, look, this is his Treasury Secretary. I mean, this is the in the cabinet. If you think about the U.S. government and you think of the president's cabinet, the president, then the vice president, then the Secretary of State, and then the Treasury Secretary. Those are the kind of how these things are ranked. I would even say that the Treasury Secretary and the Secretary of State are in the same kind of rank level. So when you look at, and then the Defense Secretary, I mean, so if you look at how the cabinet sits, look who is sitting next to the president. It's in a ranking order. And so if the Treasury Secretary, the guy who is in charge of the economy and the money and all that, is coming to say this is a backdoor way of privatizing Social Security, he's just not misspeaking. He's not just saying that because he just feels good to say that. It is thoughtful thing he wants to say and he wants to put out there, because he would never say it if it's not been something that has been discussed. So I really think that we should take it seriously until they come and say otherwise. I think we should take it seriously. And Ron Davis, welcome to Clickbait. Let me put this out there because I think a lot of you like to say this. Welcome to Clickbait. This will never happen. Why? Because the Congress has the power of the purse, not the Senate, nor the president. I mean, every bill has to go through both houses of Congress. And when they say Congress has the purse, I think Congress is it means the House and the Senate. And then the president has to sign it. So, I mean, this bill has been initiated in the Senate, and as the same bill can be initiated in the House. So let me challenge that thinking a little bit because I don't think it's correct. Congress has the power of the purse. The big, beautiful bill that just got passed, let's think about how the big, beautiful bill was passed. It started in the House, and then the Senate passed their own version of the big, beautiful bill. And then the House took the Senate's version and passed it, and then the president signed it. So bills can be initiated in both houses of Congress as long as at the end they are reconciled and then they vote on it and it goes to the president. So to say that this is clickbait is not necessarily accurate because the bill, as I showed earlier, has been proposed in the Senate. And if you Google $600 tax rebate, there's been a lot of news reports about it. A lot. Fox News, NBC News, CBS News, all have reported about the $600 rebate check and why this is something that is getting a lot of attention and likely to pass. So I wanted to make sure that I bring it to you, and that's why I'm talking about it. The last thing I want to talk about has to do with a $370 money that's owed to seniors because of relentless underpayment in your cost of living adjustment. So if you've been probably receiving Social Security for a while, you know that each year the cost of living adjustment has not been or has not lived up to what you expected it to be. And so there's been a study that was done by the Senior Citizens League that said that if they look at how much you've lost in your Social Security check over the last 15 years, Congress owes you some money, and specifically, they owe you $370. Now, you're probably thinking, what has that got to do with anything, and how does that benefit you? Well, this year, there's been a lot of talk about a Social Security increase, and there's been a lot of bills that have been proposed on how seniors can get more money outside of the cost of living adjustment. Basically, think about it about how the government is trying to catch you up. And so one of the things that have been proposed is to give seniors a $200 increase. This is part of the Social Security Expansion Act. It is a bill that has been introduced in the 119th Congress, which is the Congress we're dealing with right now. So the bill seeks to put, among other things, give seniors a $200 a month raise. Well, now that there's been a study that has calculated how much is owed to seniors specifically, I think that that $200 raise should go to $370 because that is truly what seniors have lost in their purchasing power when it comes to Social Security cost of living adjustment that always seems to fall behind true inflation. And so part of what this Social Security Expansion Act will do is also fix the issue of the COLA and how it's calculated. So if that bill passes, and it's one of the bills that I think has a good chance of passing this year, if that bill passes, it will also put $660 in the pockets of seniors that were getting the minimum Social Security benefits. So when you look at the horizon of what is possible for seniors this year, what are the real opportunities to help seniors this year, I think it's going to come from the Social Security Expansion Act, and it's going to come from this $600 rebate that was just put forward in the Senate by Senator Hawley in order to help seniors pretty much make ends meet, or at least catch you up with some relief that a lot of you felt disappointed because you did not get anything out of the big, beautiful bill. So if you have any questions at all about anything I've talked about, I want to hear from you in the comment section below. I am looking forward to seeing a lot of you in our membership group that I just talked about. There are 19 spots left at the initial price. And as I said, it's going to be a locked-in price. This is going to be a membership community where we can help you unlock all the every dollar discount and advantage that you deserve. And we're going to be creating content talking about topics that I've put on the screen. And it's going to be a community for you to meet others, learn from each other, but more importantly, learn from the experts that we're going to bring. And finally, every guide that we have right now that is a paid guide, you are going to get access to that for free as soon as you sign up today. And so I'm going to share the link in the description to this video, in the comment section, and we have 19 more spots left for the first 50 to join this group. So I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you for joining me this Wednesday evening, and I'll see you tomorrow on another live.